Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming the Max and part 7 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich, the German Empire. So, in the last episode, we ended up successfully winning the Spanish Civil War in favor of the Kingdom of Spain. We've sent reinforcements over here to the Princely Federation, trying to stem the tide of the Baradia Commune. We sent some equipment over here to German East Asia. Hopefully soon they'll be able to destroy the Indo-Chinese revolt. I mean, these guys don't have almost any equipment, so hopefully the German East Asians can do it. Actually, while I'm sitting here talking about it, might build that naval base right there, trying to get some supplies. Try to get those supplies up there so their units can get restocked. Our medium tanks. Let's do production output. Alright, well with that, let's start up. Let's see what we can get into today. I want to take Visigopatum. Our Princely Federation friends do not seem to have a lot of equipment. They were in a multitude of wars down here in the south before the game began, or this war began. Alright, the Moroccans are asking for military mission to help develop their army. Send a military mission. That's fine. 2,000 manpower. Denmark offers a economic deal. Our small neighbor Denmark has been hit hard by the very Black Monday plague that swept our nation as well. In an attempt to soften the blows, the Danish government seeks to make the imports of Danish goods more attractive. To that end, they want to lower exchange rates of the Danish krone to our mark, two currencies that are paid to each other within the Middle Europa system. In return for our cooperation, the Danish state offers to buy additional German goods as compensation. Trade relations changed by 100% to Denmark, and we accept their deal. That's all right with me. The Golden Throne Jubilee. Today is the day of momentous celebration. Exactly 50 years ago, in 1888, our Kaiser Wilhelm II assumed the throne after the unfortunate death of his father Frederick III. The past 50 years have seen Germany become a worldwide empire and establish a hegemony throughout Europe, all while making immense reforms at home. The Wilhelmine era has been a period of great change, conflict, but also greatness. The Kaiser, already nearly 80 years old and in weakening health, has made a tour of his empire, meeting his subjects and visiting the monarchs of his constituent states. His eldest son and heir apparent, Crown Prince Wilhelm, fulfilled much of the duties during the visit. Already, the people and government officials are expecting him to be required to assume the throne soon. Preparations are slowly being made for the transfer of power and duties. Long live Kaiser Wilhelm II. Gain base stability +2 and gain 25 political power. So now we're at 52% stability. We are now past the 50% mark for our stability. And I didn't say this at the beginning of the episode, but I am still sick, so I probably sound horrible, and I do apologize. Let's remove some of our debt scoring. The History of Kashubia, released. Alexander Majewski, a leading figure in the Tarwetso Melodoscobo, the Young Kashpian Association, has been working to release his project, The History of Kashuba, in snippets of the Girif newspaper since 1922, and in book form since 1936, in reaction to Geschichte der Kashpin by Frederick Lawrence, as Lawrence's books was received as a history of Germanization in Kashuba. Majewski decided to highlight Kashpian nationally as Slavic by beginning his book with a short history of Slavic nationalities. He perceived that Western Slavs, including Pomeranians and Kushumans, were influenced by Western Europe, with German as his main influence strengthened by Germanization. It was followed by a geographical overview of Kashuba in local groups, and the historian of the nations leader of the book presented history from legends through pagan culture, Polish rule, the duchies of Pomerania under the local Sibolewski dynasty, Teutonic rule, renewed Polish administration, and finally Prussian rule, which lasted to present day. Alexander Majewski didn't live long enough to see his book published, as he passed away earlier this year when it was being printed. A committee was formed made up of his former colleagues who decided to publish the book in his name alongside the novel Zis I Przdez Remusia. Since release, the book was met with harsh criticism from the right, who called for the banning of the book, but was lauded by the Kushpians and liberal politicians. Is his surname Majewski or Majewski? Game-based stability negative 1%. Ooh. Alright. Alash Orda has been annexed. Uruguay wins the World Cup. They have Turkestan. The left, Kuomintang declared war on the nationalist governments. The Middle European Commission, choice of agenda. Let's do the military factory, because I think that was what was at the utmost part of it. I wouldn't be mad about the arms trade, though. I want financial injection, though, that consumer goods negative 10%. See if I can get anybody else to also agree with me. Alright, we've taken that port there. That was a key port. Making steady progress against the Baradia commune, hoping the dominion of India does not fall. They're about to, though. Oppositions criticized the army. The two most influential opposition parties, the SPD and the LVP, have begun using the Reichstag as a soapbox, this time to agitate against military spending. Both parties have pointed out the massive finance rightfully dedicated to her and called for a reduction, which they state could be redistributed to social service or education. Supposedly and foolishly, according to them, Germany is under no threat except for the threat it creates with its aggressive military. Not only that, but the SPD deputies pointed out the supposed influence of the Heer in politically appears, claiming that the OHL is influencing the incumbent government, attacks that were immediately rebutted in the parliamentary arena. Get negative 2% war support, change of popularity of radical socialism and social democracy plus 1%. Maklik and Mongolia ended their hostilities. I'm going to train. enough rifles for that. Oh yeah, I can update my medium tank chassis, but I do not have enough army experience to do that. Bracketed shooting for our Navy. Do better torpedoes. And we will do that for the escort ships. And better equipment conversion speed. Salzgitter stealth work. The fall of Santiago. Significant blow to the Chilean ambitions. This is for Wilhelmshaven-Werft. Better anti-air. Ooh. We can do pursue imperial self-sufficiency, which gains lack of resource penalty negative 20%. Be nice. The American Union States does not look like they will end up winning. Looks like the United States has been able to kind of turn it around against them. Kingdom of Siam joins the Co-Prosperity Sphere. They've finally gotten you guys can't do much of nothing. We'll see. The national government looks like they're doing incredibly well as the Qing government. So it does not look like the national revolutionary government, the communists, will win over here. So that's good news for us. Incident in London. In London, trouble is brewing this morning on the note. Verbal of the Sylvia Pankhurst administration has arrived at our embassy at Carlton House, Terrace. It demands the immediate appearance of our ambassador Leopold von Heusch at the British Foreign Office. Normally, such drastic measures are only taken in case of serious serious policy disagreements between two states. But in recent months, London has made use of this tool to often express their disagreement with all kinds of dissent-related events taking place somewhere on German soil. Accordingly, our ambassador was not very surprised when it transpired and the matter at hand was another trivial one. It turned out that recently British counterintelligence has arrested 2 members of the Committee for Restoration of Great Britain in Dover and found compromising documents on them that revealed their ties to our Secret Service, Epsilon 3B, or I don't know how you say that. Of course, London now demands the measure against that are initiated immediately. Hoisted thus faced with foreign political dilemma in principle, it's not uncommon nowadays for intelligence services to have opposition members of rival states on their payroll. In the syndicalist bloc, it has been common practice to support the left wing scene in Germany too, even if we have no tangible proof of this. In addition, the German Foreign Office has no control over the Secret Service, and therefore not can be held responsible for this incident. Therefore, this British harassment, one of many in a row, seems like an act of deliberate provocation. Now the following questions arise: Are we really willing to grant the British concessions in the name of international detente, or is it a better option to remain uncompromised and rebuff this audacious request? After all, no foreign country has the right to intervene in our domestic affairs. The Foreign Secretary, Ulrich von Hassel, cannot appear weak. The Brits demand a cessation of support for the CRGB, and we shall stand firm. World tension increased by 3, and Germany does not bend. Intervention from Berlin. Excuse me. As one of the most renowned representatives of German diplomatic corps, Leopold von Heusch always knows which words are needed in what situation to mediate conflicts while acting in the Empire's best interest. However, despite his excellent reputation as a master negotiator, the Foreign Office in Berlin has directly intervened in his diplomatic dispute. This is no surprise. State Secretary for Foreign Affairs Ulrich von Hassel has long been a critic of Heusch's pragmatic course and has pushed for his replacement with a more resolute hardliner. Hassel's effort to shorten leash of the German ambassador in London during the moment of weakness can be interpreted as a desperate attempt to fully bring the Empire's old guard diplomats in line with the Fatherland Party's understanding of good foreign policy, potentially with far-reaching consequences. At a press conference in Berlin, Hassel declared the British accusation a fabricated claim of German ancient enemies that lurked in the shadows, and reinforced that no foreign country can arrogate to itself the right to judge or intervene in German internal affairs. This move has been applauded by the Empire's foreign political hawks, who have long described the mediocre, ambivalent relations between London and Berlin as duplicitous hypocrisy. London's reaction has now been comparatively restrained, and an official government statement is still being awaited. As Bismarck said, we will become the anvil if we do nothing to become the hammer. World tension increased by 3. The Emirate of Syria joined the Cairo Pact. Start hurting the social democrats. Production efficiency growth. The Italian Civil War resumes. The two Sicilies have gone to war. They have went back to the Spanish Republic, so they're no longer the Kingdom of Spain. So they probably went down, restore the rights of man, or restore the rights of the Spanish. That is alright. They still are. They still like me alright. Let us see. Who can I send to Italy? You, with my 2 Panzer divisions. Now planes. Close air support, fighters, tactical bombers. An ace up their sleeve. Yeah, it seems Hassel's all-in strategy has failed to backfire. Tangible documents were submitted to Heusch, which provided the indisputable involvement of the DVLP in supporting the British dissident scene, including several compromising photographs which come from Duke Karl Edmund's controversial social event in Gotha early this year. In every other situation, it would have been one person's word against another, But the emergence of the photos put the foreign minister under severe pressure, as it rendered all of his previous statements null and void. Lies and deception have naturally always been part of diplomacy, but they usually only become a problem when they can be proven. Hassel's integrity is at stake. Not only is his career in jeopardy, London's revelation also severely threatens to damage the reputation of the DVLP as a whole, especially when the black, white, and red bloc, because it would indirectly confirm the prejudice and concerns of many old guard conservatives about the amorous, unreliable, and overly hawkish behavior of the National Revolutionaries on the political stage. As a result, the DVLP's influence within the coalition might suffer from this incident. Therefore, Hassel is now faced with a risky game of chess. In order to emerge victorious from the standoff, he must both smooth things over in order not to further worsen relations with England, and somehow save face, reinforce his position, and preserve the strong standing of the Fatherland Party within the Kleist cabinet. A dangerous race against the clock has begun. Now we'll see who is really a master of diplomacy of the Bismarckian school, and who will go down to the annals of history as an unfortunate loser like many before. Maintain a poker face to try to stall, or we need to catch Lyndon off guard, or with an off guard, with our ambassador immediately over this audacity. I don't know which one's the right one. Maintain a poker face? I feel like that's not going to work. But if we withdraw an ambassador, would that put us at worse ties anyway? What do they care? They've already proven that we've done it. Well, I don't really care because they are the Union of Britain. They're communists. So I mean, you catch them off guard with all ambassadors. The ambassador crisis. Diplomatic crisis broken up between the Union of Britain and the German Empire, and the two countries are withdrawing their ambassadors. Little information is known about the underlying reason, but the official pretext is the arrest of British exiles in Dover and the discovery of documents confirming their cooperation with German espionage. You have no idea if that was the right answer or not. War in sight. In the brief period, the world stood still in rapid succession. Both Germany and Britain have cut all diplomatic ties to each other as part of a tit-for-tat strategy. After all the tensions of the faraway peripherals throughout the previous years, is now an ostensible minor diplomacy incident that has brought Europe to the brink of war again. And the title pages of the newspaper all around the world are covered with the same question: war in sight, Krieg in sight, la guerre est en vue. Provincia Livonia, the times of secret diplomacy and bilateral negotiations is over now. The attention of the entire globe is directed towards both nations. As fears of further escalations are rising high in Paris, Vienna, and Moscow, fearful observers and opportunist schemers make themselves ready to intervene or further their influence. Standoff between London and Berlin have now reached the hottest phases. Excuse me. Every minor decision will determine the outcome of the crisis. Possibly the fate of both nations. Only one side will be able to emerge victorious. Both will need to carefully weigh their options and consider how to proceed further. Hypothetical victory will be heavily dependent on the opposite's potential clever decision. The two options remain: trying to calm tensions or doubling down again and further escalating the crisis. Outcome of this choice will depend on whether our opponent will escalate or back down. Or let's wait and see. Escalate it. Screw you, Britain. Well, I say that. Let us form our navy. You are probably over here somewhere. Yeah, Zanzibar. Where's the fifth? There they are. Merge you all together. Put you under Herman Boyum. Put the Hoyscher Fleet under Eric Rader. We can press claims on St. Helena. We can reinforce the Lithuanian police. The economy recovers. A long period of economic downturn has finally come to an end. A long series of strategic government policies to alleviate the malaise have finally had their effect, and for the first time in years, Germany has reached pre-1934 industrial production levels. Not only have the effects of the economic crisis sparked by Black Monday been curtailed, but also the instability that set in the markets ever since the election of Boris Sennikov in the Russian Republic. Now that productivity and the employment has been restored to stable levels, emergency economic controls can be loosened and financing for other government programs expanded. The hair has been itching to initiate major reforms, and leadership has already been lobbying members of the Reichstag to finance ambitious rearmament projects. Long live the unsurpassed empire. Game base stability plus 10%. The Black Monday card game is over. You have won. Yay! The Blue Lotus, the newest comic of George Remy O'Hare's, takes place in the Qing Empire, where the reporter Tintin is sent to dismantle drug trafficking. It is known that Hergé was helped in his work by a young student from the legation city of Shanghai named Zhang Chorang, who came to Flanders, Wallonia to study fine arts. The expertise of Zhang led to a striking and realistic representation of Chinese society and contributed greatly to the enormous success of the book in both Europe and China. The book criticizes the weakness and the corruption of the Qing government as well as the Japanese presence in Manchuria and is as such banned in both of these countries. So exciting. And then Black Monday turn completed. The nightmare. Alright. We can spread rumors of international contacts. We can get the anti-syndicalist trials. Try to break the SPD. Well, that was not what we wanted to see. End of the ambassador crisis, British strategic victory. Shocking news from Berlin when it is thought that tensions between Britain and Germany had already reached their maximal extent. The Germans doubled down one step further. Earlier this week, the European-wide media frenzy escalated further when one word spread about a giant German naval force supposedly assembling at Dogger Bank, not too far away from British home waters, described in the German media as an extension of the annual Kaiser maneuver, which is usually held in late summer. The actual intentions were more than clear. The Germans were making use of an ancient trick in their foreign political repertoire, gunboat diplomacy, to force upstart Britain into submission. However, London does not seem to have fallen for this provocation. While a brief war scare had broke out among the Union population, the government remained unimpressed and waited out. Soon after capitalizing upon the isolated position the Germans found themselves in on the global stage after a risky and provocative naval maneuver. Subsequently, Berlin was confronted by a strong united force of cynically aligned nations, able to exert many times more pressure on the empire than Britain alone. The more concerning threats to Berlin's provocation were coming from Paris, with the French ambassador in Berlin supposedly having made vague allusions to an entire dossier of compromising documents about Hassel and communard possession, which is believed to date from his time as German consul in Marseille during the 1920s. Frightened by all the sudden pressure from all sides, Reich Chancellor Kleist intervened and immediately forced Hassel to give in to avoid further escalation. Not long after, negotiations continued in London, where Berlin was pressured into making a broad array of painful concessions for London. However, the best possible cases occurred. They were able to force Berlin into submission without actually having to publish their documents about the DVLP. For Hassel, this is undoubtedly a major blow. His party power base within the black, white, and red cabinet has been massively tarnished. No more ace to play. This will strengthen the standing of the DKP. World tension increased by 0.4 or by 4. Dissatisfied by Hassel's failure in the ambassador crisis, 0 DVLP deputies will split from the party and form an independent far-right group leaving the coalition. Gain base war support plus 10%. No more ace to play. Well, I was wrong, so I do take blame for that. My bad. I thought that might be the right one, but it was not. We already have a ace pilot. Our 4 divisions have arrived. Hope has 7 divisions. Whoa. I mean, more than that, but I mean, whoa, they got a lot of divisions there. Breakthrough for medium tanks. This sounds nice. I need to do a lot of these. So, let's see. We could do organic statehood. Gives us plus 50 political power, gain 3% national populist, and we get a political power gain political advisor. Set and Tog. We've read this before. Held in Kaiserreich. Fall of Baton Rouge. Seems like the war will be over soon. Costa Rica request our assistance. Disaster has the otherwise quiet little nation of Costa Rica, when the ZKG crashed hard on the Berlin Stock Exchange just a few weeks earlier, dragging the nation into a hole out which it will be unable to recover on its own. To save them from complete collapse, small nations request us alone to bail out the ZKG. Offer them assistance, even though they've kind of backstabbed us and joined the Entente. There goes the American Union States and the end of the American Civil War. Russia has taken Turkestan. Nicholas von Falkenhorst wounded. Ireland in the Reichspakt. Jawohl. Ireland joins the Reichspakt, gain plus 40 political power, and when they accept, we'll accept. Haiti declared war on the Dominican Republic. And Ireland has now joined the Reichspakt. And they're going steadily down their focus trees, so that's good for us. There's so much to do here. military factories, civilian military factories, 45 steel, 12 steel. Uh, we can continue. To destroy the Social Democrats. Let's do that one. And let's do this one. Gives us 1 civilian factory, 1 military factory, and 12 steel. Burma, how many units do you have? Roughly. 6 to 20. I'm sorry, do what? The United States of America declared war on the Empire of Japan. Oh, probably because of the Philippines. That is the absolute best thing I think we could have seen. Fearing the collapse of the old world order may be put on them on the wrong side of history. The nation of Cuba has today approached us with an offer of military assistance in case of global conflict breaking out. While their contribution to the war effort would most likely be negligible, their influence in the Caribbean could provide some advantage should the theaters of war ever reach the Western Hemisphere. Cuba wants to join the Reichspakt. Cuba joins the Reichspakt. Yeah, we'll take them. Divisions among the left. The leadership of the Democratic opposition has been under hard attack from the far left lately. Publications by KAPD and KPD-aligned papers have highly criticized their position, claiming that they lack the militancy necessary to defend Germany from the emergence of yet another reactionary dictatorship. Social Democratic and liberal leaders, facing a threat to their leadership of the democratic movement, have responded in kind, attacking the socialists and syndicalists for their ceaseless call for division among the anti-reactionary front. All in all, it has been very good for us. The Democrats have weakened their position significantly, gained base stability plus 2%, change in popularity for social democracy, social liberalism, and radical socialism, negative 1% for the respective groups. The Great Pacific War. I don't need you guys to push, I need you all to hold. I'm thinking of allying with Burma to have an enemy on the Kingdom of Siam's northern border here, especially with that river there. I doubt Siam will be able to push very well if they do declare war on us. And if they do, we can just take Burma, move armies through Burma into Siam. I need you all to win this war at some point here soon. I mean, they wouldn't be, I mean, they are social liberal, but I mean, it wouldn't be the worst idea to have Burma as an ally. The anti-syndicalist trials, investigated by the Prussian secret police, having unveiled unquestionable ties between organizers of the general strike on the river that took place in 1936 and syndicalist intelligence, and is not merely representative of the radical socialist parties who are being accused of such connections. Suspicion has befallen several leaders of the SPD-aligned trade unions and social democratic politicians in the Rhineland. The prosecution is still ongoing, and though the democratic forces are claiming that this is no more than political prosecution, the government-aligned press has trumped this up as a display of the SPD's secret syndicalist sympathies. This will certainly affect the reputation of the Social Democrats, gain plus 2% stability. And another strike in the Rhenish trade union activities in the Rhineland, minus 2% stability, and we get break up the strikes in the eastern Rhinelands. Guessing that's up here. At least 6 divisions in eastern Rhineland. I can do that. have to put them as a area defense there. I don't know if I did that right or not. The conscription laws cost negative 20%. The Gu Mingchu declared war on the Qing government. I.S. Feng Yusheng. The Rimsma affair, lengthy investigation by the police of the Kingdom of Prussia and the Reich Treasury has confirmed that Rimsma, one of the largest cigarette manufacturers in the German Empire, has been using consistent political pressure in order to bypass numerous laws against hostile acquisition of opposing cigarette brands and avoid tobacco taxes in numerous member states of the empire. The son of the company's founder, Bernhard Hermann and Philip Rimsma, transformed it into an impressively profitable enterprise since his death. It appears that it was done through illicit deeds. It was highly concerned to the Treasury that it's not the first time that Rimsma has fallen under suspicion by federal authorities. An investigation of their tax evasion was initiated in 1926, but it was discontinued, and a similar investigation in 1932 ended in the same way. Government officials suspect this too was the result of their political pressure, perhaps connections and friends in high levels of the governments. Continue the investigation, we must know the truth. Gain negative 2% stability. Monarchy restored in Greece. Now we have the Italian Republic declaring war on the socialists under Benito Mussolini. Oh, my word. Move your army south. Destroy this pocket. Let's see. Start building some forts. Argentina took 10 states. Chile and the Patagonian Workers' Front was annexed. Angetreten. Got organic statehood. Let's see here. Continue on the industry.
Angetreten. Achtung.
I destroyed that unit there. This is for fighters. This is max speed. That's a civilian and a military factory, so we'll do that. And we can do 45 more steel.
Achtung!
Steel is always important. Criticism of the Reichstag. Even though a military operation to quell the strike in the Rhineland was approved, it ended up a dud, and the responsibility was bungled, which meant that ultimately the government was forced to accede to the demands. Several high-profile trade union leaders and known radical social agitators have been released from their confinements and quit of their charges. Both the far right and the moderates were left disappointed by the failure, but especially the latter, accusing the government hardliner actions of having shaken the trust of the people in the government and only escalated the growth of socialism among German workers by miscalculated repression. They've even left the coalition, instead forming a moderately conservative grouping which has aligned itself with the Zentrum. Gained negative 5% stability, change in paternal autocracy, negative 5%, 0 DKP deputies will leave. Dam and the fraying coalition. The time and power has not been kind of the red, white, or black, white, and red coalition. It has lost enough deputies that it no longer holds a majority in the Reichstag. Though that is not necessarily a death sentence to the government, especially if it is equipped with an enabling act to strengthen the position of the Reichschancellor. It doesn't mean that passing any law will become a struggle, especially annual budgets, which may not be possible without backing from the Zentrum, the far right, or the left. The recent area of the Reichschancellor direction is a sharp reminder of what cabinet without a majority support in the Reichstag may generate to. Needless to say, this is sparking panic among cabinet secretaries and parliament notables, and the option is being considered a prolonged minority government, a nonpartisan cabinet coordinated with the Kaiser, or integrating the Zentrum into the government. Negative 10% stability. Well, I bungled this one up, didn't I? I didn't even realize that we were that bad off. Yeah, we only have 222 seats, so we just dropped. And the resignation of the Reichschancellor Kleist. The deadlock in the coalition has been resolved in a swift stroke. The Reichschancellor, Edward von Kleist-Stromitz, suddenly announced his resignation. The news came as a shock to all major power holders in the coalition, and immediately initiated a scramble for his replacement. It is believed Kleist's decision was motivated not just by the collapsed situation of the coalition, but personal motivations as well. In his heart, he was an idealist who chose to move to politics because he sought to create what he envisioned as a virtuous, harmonious society. The cutthroat politics that he experienced since his appointment as Reichschancellor shattered his expectations, and it is believed that he will distance himself from politics entirely in the aftermath, instead retiring to his estate in Pomerania. With the advice of his inner circle and representatives of the Reichstag, William II, as German Emperor, saw it fit to appoint Paul Resignation as the next Reichschancellor. This is a significant shift. Resignation was chosen as a moderate Catholic conservative who respected by the DKP and Zentrum. The cabinet he formed reflected that, shutting out the DVLP and the rest of the far right from the government and replacing them with Zentrum representatives. Though he is sympathetic to the reforms envisioned by the DKP, few believe that he will be anywhere near as thorough or radical as the previous DKP-DVLP cabinet. So long, the virtuous Juncker appoints Paul Resignation. Production efficiency retention plus 20%, construction complete plus 5%, economic laws negative 25 cost. German Empire completes vanquished decadent democracy and the National Social Principle. The Authoritarian Democrat Party will be known as the Cabinet, and the Social Conservatives will join the coalition. So the DVLP is out. And now it's a cabinet formed of the Social Conservatives, the Authoritarian Democrats, and I think the Paternal Autocrats. Well, this was not what I actually wanted to happen, but we will roll with it anyway. A couple of blunders there on my part. have caused the black, white, and red coalition to fail. I do believe we're still part of the conservative revolution. It just blocks us out of doing any of the rest. And we cannot do the Privy Council, which I would have liked to do, but that's all right. We'll be all right. Let's see. Let's establish the W system. We'll be able to hire an advisor. Oh yeah, we're currently working on something. Once we're done there. So now we are Authoritarian Democrat with the Paternal Autocrats and the Social Conservatives. Hunan has capitulated. Destroyed these communal French divisions in the south of Italy. Sorry. Alright. I have not looked over at India in a few minutes. Pretty much stalled on that river, which is what I was figuring. The Dominion of India has pushed back quite a bit. Try to assist them. Yes, Germany stage is just not doing it. What about you, Middle Africa? You're doing pretty good. The fall of Beijing. Excuse me. Going back to the basics for authoritarian democracy. Alright. Well, with that, we're going to end episode 7. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode so far. That's not good. We're playing, or we're fighting in the two Sicilies, trying to defeat the Socialist Republic of Italy. We're fighting in India, trying to just prop up the Princely Federation as best as we can. We are no longer considered the Black, White, and Red Party anymore. I don't believe. We are now with the Cabinet Lejeune Jung, so we are Authoritarian Democrat. That was just a complete bluster on my part, and I do apologize for that. But other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.